What are some hidden gems on Netflix? If you end up thumbing by the Netflix queue and saying I've seen that over and over, we've bought you coded. Our listing of the most effective underrated motion pictures on Netflix focuses on hidden gems and movies that possibly didn't hit huge once they had been initially launched, however are effectively price-watching regardless. These vary from little-seen horror motion pictures to splashy, star-driven automobiles that for one purpose or one other didn't discover their viewers. However, all of those motion pictures have one factor infrequent: they're very excellent. Vampire Academy. Director, Mark Waters. Author, Daniel Waters. Forged, Zoe Deutsch, Lucy Fry, Cameron Monaghan, Daniela Kozlovsky, Sarah Hyland, Olga Kurylenko, and Gabriel Byrne. It is a film that sounds kinda lame, however in observe is definitely tons of enjoyable. Not completely dissimilar to Harry Potter, the adaptation Vampire Academy stars Zoe Deutsch as a half-human/half-vampire hybrid who's attending a mysterious boarding faculty for, effectively, vampires. However, alongside the best way, she discovers one thing sinister could also be occurring at mentioned boarding faculty and decides to attempt to determine what is going on. The movie has a ton of humor working all through it, which retains the proceedings mild, by no means taking itself too severely. So in the event you wrote this off as one other Twilight knockoff, give it a shot. It might shock you. Adam Chetwood. Road to Perdition. Director, Sam Mendes. Author, David Self. Forged, Tom Hanks, Paul Newman, Jude Legislation, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Stanley Tucci, and Daniel Craig. It's a little bit bizarre to name Highway to Perdition underrated. The movie obtained 6 Oscar nominations and received for Greatest Cinematography, nevertheless it's oddly a film that few individuals speak about anymore. And they need to, as a result of its nice. This was director Sam Mendes' subsequent film after breaking out with American Magnificence, and to be frank, Highway to Perdition is a far superior movie. It's ostensibly a gangster film, and it takes place in 1931 because it follows a mob enforcer who goes on the run together with his son when the remainder of his household is murdered by a mobster. However, the movie has a deep dramatic focus, and Tom Hanks provides probably the most understated performances of his profession. Plus you get Daniel Craig as a hitman, completely beautiful cinematography from Conrad L. Corridor, and certainly one of Thomas Newman's greatest scores. Adam Chetwood. Director, Ron Howard. Author, Peter Morgan. Forged, Chris Hemsworth, Daniel Bruhl, Olivia Wilde, Alexander Maria Lara, and Pier Francesco Favino. Whereas Chris Hemsworth has actually developed into one of many shining stars of the MCU, he had bother breaking out in roles outdoors Thor. One in all his most valiant efforts is in Ron Howard's criminally underseen 2013 racing drama Rush, through which he performs daring Method 1 driver James Hunt. The movie chronicles Hunt's rivalry with Austrian driver Niki Lauda, Daniel Bruhl, with every actor getting fairly even screen time as Howard crafts a narrative of two very completely different males who had been pushed to be the most effective at what they do. The 1970s aesthetic is tangibly conjured by cinematographer Anthony Di Mantle, and the racing scenes are wildly thrilling. I am not fairly positive why nobody noticed this film, nevertheless it's effectively price testing. Adam Chetwood. Private Life. Director/author, Tamara Jenkins. Forged, Catherine Hahn, Paul Giamatti, Kaylee Carter, Molly Shannon, John Carroll Lynch, and Dennis O'Hare. Should you've immediately developed into obsessive about Catherine Hahn because of WandaVision, you merely should try Personal Life. This 2018 drama/comedy flew sort of underneath the radar after its premiere on the Sundance movie pageant, however actually exemplifies Hahn's very because it tells the story of a middle-aged couple struggling to have a baby by any means attainable. The stress of making an attempt to have a child places stress on their marriage, however the movie would not drown itself in doom and gloom and as a substitute feels deeply human because it finds the humor in such a private battle. The story was primarily based on author/director Tamara Jenkins' personal expertise in making an attempt to have a child, and Han and Paul Giamatti ship a pair of knockout performances because the central couple. Adam Chetwood. The Killing of a Sacred Deer. Director, Yorgos Lanthimos. Writers, Yorgos Lanthimos and Eftimis Flippou. Forged, Colin Farrell, Nicole Kidman, Barry Keoghan, and Invoice Camp. Heads up, there's a probability you'll completely hate The Killing of a Sacred Deer. However, there's additionally an opportunity you'll adore it. This wholly authentic psychological thriller hails from The Lobster and the favorite filmmaker Yorgos Lanthimos and stars Colin Farrell as a cardiac surgeon who secretly befriends a younger man, Barry Keoghan, who then subsequently warns him that his complete household will slowly die. It is a bizarre film. At sure elements I didn't know whether or not to snigger, cry, or vomit, however I wholeheartedly advocate it for its impeccable filmmaking and originality. Simply don't say I didn't warn you, Adam Chetwood. Midnight Special. Director/author, Jeff Nichols. Forged, Michael Shannon, Joel Edgerton, Kirsten Dunst, Adam Driver, Sam Shepard, and Jaden Martell. Should you're into grounded, indie sci-fi motion pictures, you'll need to try Midnight Special. This underrated 2016 movie takes place in Texas and follows a father, Michael Shannon, who's compelled to go on the run together with his son, Jaden Martell, when it seems his son has particular powers. Chased down by each the federal government and a cult, the bond between father and son is examined in varied methods. Adam Driver performs an NSA communications analyst who has his personal vested curiosity within the boy, and whereas this sounds just like the plot of a superhero film, Nichols approaches the fabric in a particularly sensible and grounded method. It's a Sundance film with beautiful performances and minimalist visible results, placing a heavy concentrate on character over plot twists or big set items. And Shannon provides a deeply soulful flip because the boy's father. Adam Chetwood. Fruitvale Station. Director/author, Ryan Coogler. Forged, Michael B. Jordan, Octavia Spencer, Melanie Diaz, Kevin Durald, and Chad Michael Murray. Earlier than Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan made Creed or Black Panther, the two made waves with their Sundance smash Fruitvale Station. Whereas the movie scored stellar evaluations, the Weinstein firm bungled the discharge and the film by no means discovered the viewers it deserved. However, now's the proper time to test it out on Netflix. The movie relies on the true story of Oscar Grant, a younger man who was shot and killed by a BART police officer in Oakland in 2009. Jordan performs Grant and as soon as once more proves he is among the best actors of his technology, whereas Coogler handles the story with tact and objective. It is tremendously emotional. Adam Chetwood. Nocturnal Animals. Director/author, Tom Ford. Forged, Amy Adams, Jake Gyllenhaal, Michael Shannon, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Isla Fisher, Armie Hammer, Laurel Linney, Andrew Riseborough, and Michael Sheen. Author/director Tom Ford gained immense popularity of his first function A Single Man, however his second movie flew fairly closely underneath the radar regardless of being a beautiful, taut thriller all its personal. Nocturnal Animals is a twisty thriller that follows an artwork gallery proprietor, Amy Adams, as she reads a brand new novel written by her first husband, Jake Gyllenhaal. As she reads the novel, the occasions of the ebook play out on the display screen and you start to attach the dots between this supposedly fictional story and the gallery proprietor's real life, and the rationale her marriage fractured within the first place. It is haunting and stunning in equal measure, resulting in an extremely bold ending that ought to spark some energetic dialogue. Adam Chetwood. Hunt for the Wilderpeople. Director/author, Taika Waititi. Forged, Sam Neill, Julian Dennison, Rhys Darby, Rimate Wiata, and Rachel Holm. Should you've solely ever seen Taika Waititi's Thor, Ragnarok and Jojo Rabbit, you should hunt for the Wilderpeople. Launched in 2016, This delightfully whimsical story follows an unlikely duo, a grumpy man performed by Sam Neill and a delinquent baby performed by Julian Dennison, as they go on the run within the New Zealand bush. It is zany and hilarious and candy, and it is assured to place a smile in your face. Adam Chetwood. Wildlife. Director, Paul Dano. Writers, Paul Dano and Zoe Kazan. Forged, Carrie Mulligan, Jake Gyllenhaal, Ed Oxenbould, and Invoice Camp. Thank you for watching this video. Subscribe. Don't forget to share.